On the morning of April 10, 1912, at berth 44, Ocean Dock, Dock Gate 4 of the Southampton Harbour, a mass of people was gathering to witness a marvel of engineering. The largest man-made moving object of all time would be sitting in the dock, waiting to embark on a journey across the North Atlantic. Towering over those who were boarding, 104 feet from keel to wheelhouse stoop Titanic. The sister ship to the earlier RMS Olympic. With an improved design, and noticeable differences between the two. Albeit subtle in some spots. Although Titanic had drawn a crowd, it was a mere fraction of what Olympic had been subjected to. Titanic did not have as much of a fanfare as her older sister. The day before the voyage, on the 9th of April, 1912, a last-minute change to the crew was implemented. A member of the team, David Blair, was reassigned and left the ship. In his hasty departure, hidden in his pocket, Blair had a key. This key was the key to a cupboard on Titanic which housed binoculars for the lookout team. As the bells chimed midday, the mighty reciprocating engines of Titanic roared into life. Titanic was now underway. As Titanic was leaving the harbor, a drama ensued. As Titanic inched forward, the draft caused by mighty propellers pulled at ships in the dock as she moved past. One ship, the SS City of New York, whom was moored in the harbor, broke loose from her moorings and started gliding towards the stern of Titanic in a near-identical way to when HMS Hawke had collided with RMS Olympic, not even a year previously. The crew of Titanic jumped into action. Captain Smith, whom was in command for the Maiden voyage, quickly ordered all stop on the engines. The City of New York stopped mere inches from Titanic. Tugboats in the harbor, tasked with guiding ships out of the harbor, were able to nudge the bow of New York to the harbor wall where the mooring was reattached. Titanic was then pulled slowly out of the harbor by the tugboats until she was clear of any other vessels. It was then, the mighty engines once again roared back into life, to make her way across the North Sea to Cherbourg in France for the following morning to collect more passengers and cargo. With the events of the previous day, the locker key being taken by accident, and the events in the harbor, could this have been a bad omen? Another situation was ensuing down in the bunkers. Where a fire had taken hold in one of the bunkers of the starboard side, another omen to add to the mix. Titanic would pick up passengers at Cherbourg and then head to Queenstown, modern-day Cobb in Ireland, for boarding the following morning. Here she would drop off passengers and pick up other passengers and cargo before setting sail across the great expanse of the North Atlantic. Here in Queenstown, one of the stokers disembarked and stowed away in one of the tenders. John Coffey, whom had signed on to complete the round trip. Another person to leave Titanic was the Reverend Father Francis Brown, who had joined Titanic, taking pictures of the crew, the ship, and other passengers before disembarking in Ireland. The next few days at sea were uneventful. Captain Smith had plotted a southern route to cross the Atlantic, one that should have strayed further away from any ice that could be in the path of the Titanic. However, as fate would have it, 1912 saw a vast increase in icebergs being deposited into the North Atlantic, and the Labrador Current, which is a cold water current, was moving further south than usual. Yet another omen to add to the rest, however this was one that no one knew about. During the crossing, a disaster struck in the Marconi wireless room. Here the wireless machine was not working correctly. Harold Bride and Jack Phillips, who did not work for the White Start Line but for Marconi, was under strict orders to not meddle with the device. Any repairs would have to wait till they had made land, and a qualified engineer would fix the problem. However, Phillips spent an afternoon attempting to fix the machine, to a grateful success. However, they were now far behind in transmitting telegrams, and so went to work to make sure the passengers' messages were being transmitted.